kind of nervous, I can't lie. Kind of nervous, just a little bit. So weird, man, when you're like gonna talk to somebody you've looked up to for fucking ages, man. It's so strange. Well, that's the crack. Welcome back to JakeMcBoss podcast, episode number 19. Today we have Blue Van Man, YouTuber, over 100,000 subscribers. Good friends to True Jordy, Lawrence, all those guys. Very interesting podcast. Talk about content, all that stuff. Really good podcast. You can listen to it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. Link in the description. Let's get straight into it. No introduction needed.
Hello.
Yo, hello, Dave. How you doing, bro?
I'm all right, mate. To you?
I'm fantastic. I appreciate you coming on. Obviously, you're probably a very busy man at the moment, so I really appreciate you coming on, bro. I really do.
Yeah, I'm not as busy, obviously, now because I'm full time, but I have got things to be cracking on with. But I like to help people out. But I must admit, you're going to be the last podcast I do for a bit. I've got people asking me all over the place.
Yeah, I saw a video you did recently, and I was like, oh no, he's going to cancel on me. Oh, Jesus.
No, I don't do things like that. Brian, I watched Brian the other day, and he says, "Dave, you're doing." He had a word with me. He says, "Dave, you're doing too many podcasts, mate." And I says, "Yeah." I says, "But I just like helping people out." You know what I mean? He says, "Yeah." He says, "But just be careful." So you're the one, and then some bloke did a podcast of me last night. He just gave me his opinions, and I'm going to do something with him, and then I'm going to knock it on the head for a bit. Not completely, but. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember watching Brian a few years back, and he said something similar. I think he did JakeMcBoss podcast a couple of years back, and he then said that, he's doing too many podcasts, and a lot of people are just, trying to get him on for, exposure and stuff like that. So I can really understand where you're coming from, and I do appreciate you coming on because, when I saw that video, I was like, oh, Jesus, I might as well start with True Jordan because we're already talking about him. I found your content initially from obviously True News at the very start. I think it was a year and a half ago now at this stage. What was that entire experience like, kind of blowing up almost overnight with True Jordy and stuff?
I don't know really, because I'll be honest. I didn't know who Brian was. I didn't have a clue. And then I was getting these messages coming through saying you're on True News. And I'm going, what bloody hell's True News? I don't know what's happening. It was quite surprising because I never expected this to take off like it has done. I was looking to get around 5,000 subscribers after so many years and just happily plodding along. So it was quite a shock, I suppose, to go to bed on something like 2,500 views and wake up on something like 8,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just unreal. But no, it was a shock, but I took it all in my stride. You know what I
mean? Did you meet Elliot Hackney before or after that happened?
It was after. What happened was there was I've been on the True News a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden I was going up and up, and I had my email through YouTube. And Elliot just dropped me a line saying, would you like some help? And, I had a word with June, and she was saying, well, I think you need something, because companies were offering me everything. And I was just like thinking I was helping them. So anyway, I phoned Elliot up, and Elliot says, look, you might need a bit of help. I'm related, I've got associationship with Brian and Lawrence. And if you need any help, I can help you out. And you have to be a little bit wary when somebody's coming in to allegedly help you. And he spoke about what I was recording on. I was using my phone and a tablet. And he says, well, haven't you got a camera? I says, well, no, because I weren't expecting it. So he sent me a camera. It was a second-hand camera, but it's done the job. And Elliot didn't want any percentage of anything I earned on YouTube. He says, look, I'll help you out, and then when we start doing brand deals, or if we start doing brand deals, that's when I'll take my little bit. And fair play to Elliot, he never ripped me off. In fact, I give Elliot more than he asked for, because he's been massive help to him. He's guided me through stuff, and yeah, Elliot wanted such a certain percentage, and I gave him more. So
Elliot definitely seems the type of guy who would just kind of selfless, you know. He kind of just acts from like for other people more than himself. If that makes sense. Him and Lawrence, I feel like, are very similar in that kind of regard.
Elliot's a diamond. He really is. I text him, and obviously he's a busy man, and he'll get back to me as soon as he can. He's advised me on stuff of what I should be doing and what I shouldn't be doing, but he doesn't interfere. He doesn't say, right, you should be doing this now. Because when I first started talking to him, he said, you should be saying like and subscribe. And I went, that ain't happening because one, I can't remember, and two, I don't want to beg. I don't want to beg people to like, and I don't want to beg people to subscribe. And I also want to be able to say, if somebody criticizes me, I'll say, well, just fuck off then, because I want my channel to be mine, I don't want to bow down to others. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, you definitely get that impression from your videos and stuff, like, because it is just you in front of a camera. There's no like, crazy edits or anything like that. It's just you in front of a camera. And I think a lot of people kind of relate to that in a sense as well. Do you feel like that style is, I mean, the question I kind of want here is, do you feel like you're ever going to kind of step up the production quality like, like Lawrence and Jordy have, I guess, if that makes sense?
I suppose it's going to have to happen one day. I'm going to have to. I mean, I bought a new camera. Elliot said to me, look, I'm not telling you to buy a camera, but I think you should, because you're getting like, I think I was on around the 80, 90,000 mark. And he says, people are going to start noticing the quality of the cameras and all that. So, yeah, I bought a camera. I don't want to be doing fancy music and fancy graphics because that's not me.
Yeah.
I've been in touch with a lad, and I'm going to do certain videos will have that, but I don't want to do that because that's not me. You know what I mean? There will be videos where it's edited and there'll be music and this stuff because we have actually got plans.
Yeah.
Me and June want to tour the country a little bit. So obviously you can't just keep joining that up together. You've got to have to edit it, and because it'd just be a really long, boring video. But I've got plans for editing, but nothing major.
Do you feel like almost, because this is a full-time job for you now, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in a bit, but do you feel like talking in front of a professional camera kind of helps your mindset when you're doing videos? Like, okay, this is a job and it's a professional, compared to when you were on an iPhone, if that makes sense?
It makes sense, but it don't bother me. It could be somebody coming up to me. Somebody sent me a message the other day. They wanted me just to say happy birthday to the mate. So I just recorded it on my phone, sent it. It doesn't matter if it was. It doesn't matter if it was an iPhone, my Samsung, the tablet, my £700 Canon, or whatever. I don't care. I don't know. Do you know Dickinson's Real Deal?
I don't. But you can tell me about him.
It's on ITV. It's the bloke who he did bargain on, and then what happens is people go to a certain place and they take some kind of old tat, get it priced up. Well, I did that years ago. I was on there I sold my granddad's telescope, and like you got all these big, massive cameras around, and they're all shining in your face. And anyway, I did what I did, and the bloke come off. He says, "Have you been in front of the camera before?" And I went, "Oh no. I fitted double glazing at the time." I said, "No, I fit double glazing." He says, "You're all right, really." He says, "You weren't bothered one bit." And that's the way I am. And whatever you put me in front of, I'll just be myself. So
I definitely feel like your personality comes across on camera in a very good way. I feel like a lot of people just watch because, you're kind of just, I use the word relatable, but you are just kind of like, that relatable, just an average guy. And I feel like that comes across very well on camera. I feel like that's why people come to watch you and stuff like that. And you're very honest and very, like, critical, and you're very like objective as well with your opinions. I've watched a load of your videos, not just the food review videos, but like stuff where you talk about your mother's passing away, and a couple of videos talking about like your debt and stuff like that. So you're very relatable on camera, and I feel like that's why a lot of people watch you.
Yeah, I don't. What you see is what you get with me. What I'm sitting here now, I've just been to Aldi, right? And I've just met my mate's dad. And we've just been messing around in the aisles. And what you see is what you get with me. I can't be anything else. And I think that is probably the attraction, that I'm like somebody's crazy uncle, or, you know what I mean? There's always a knob in the family, isn't there? And I'm the knob. So I think also the ability to be able to laugh at yourself and take the piss out of yourself helps as well. You know what I mean? I'm not really, I like to have a laugh. And if it means having a laugh at myself, then fair play. You know, people should laugh at themselves more.
I 100% agree. With Elliot, what other ways has he kind of helped you in terms of like sponsorships and stuff like that? Has he kind of been almost like a manager type figure with the channel and stuff?
Oh yeah, we've got a few things that what he won't do, Elliot, he won't undersell me. Do you know what, right? I was watching a YouTuber a few months ago, and they were moaning that they were promised the world, right? You get all these offers coming through on emails. You know, we can do this for you, can do that for you, work with us. So anyway, I think what happens is YouTubers do actually see the offers and they take it up, but nothing ever amounts, because if you notice, it's just your normal standard email. It's a copy and paste email. There's nothing like, "Hey, Blue Van Man." It's like, "Hi, my name's Bert, and I think you should work with us."
Yeah.
Right. Well, what you think doesn't apply to me. It's what I think. But Elliot does all that, and he won't take an offer if it's going to devalue me. It's going to water my brand down. You know, I mean, the Beer Hawk one, he's worked miracles on it. I mean, I've had the Beer Hawk one now, and I've had quite a lot of money out of Beer Hawk. But you know, Beer Hawk talked back to me, and it gets back to me that they're doing really well out the BBN 10 code. It's approached a different audience for beer drinking. And that's down to Elliot through not diluting my brand, you know, not just taking any offer. And Elliot taking his money, he's taking his percentage and basically milking me for all I can. Elliot doesn't do that. Elliot will guide, and he looks after me. I tell you, I'd be lost without Elliot now. And, you know, I don't know, one day it might end, it might not. But at the moment, it's just brilliant for me. He's such an influence on my life. And he's just really good.
Yeah. Elliot for me obviously he works in the kickoff, and he's kind of the creative like side behind, you know, Brian and Lawrence, I guess. So to have someone with that much experience, that much knowledge, like on your side helping you, it must give you a lot of confidence, like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a confident kind of person anyway. But I'm a confident with what I know, with what I do, and what I want to do. But when it comes to things like with deals and brands and stuff like that, I haven't really got a clue. Well, I have got a clue, but I'm sure if it weren't for Elliot, I would have been chewed up and spat out by certain companies. And I seem to, it's like the podcast today. I like to help people out. I'm 52. I'm not going to be doing this for long as such. You know, I've got a shelf life. I understand that. But if I can help people like yourself to get a foothold and, you know, make a go of it, you know, just give you this little bit of confidence. The fact that you got in touch with me shows you've got some bollocks. And if I can help somebody along, then I will. But yeah, Elliot's just amazing. He's really good. So
I really appreciate it, man. I want to talk about the kickoff because you've been on there a couple of times. What's that entire environment like? I'm so curious because I've been watching the show obviously since it started. I think it's 2017 maybe. And I've always just wondered like what are the lads like behind the camera and what the entire environment is like.
It's high pressure. You know, Brian's a perfectionist. He wants it his way. He knows what he wants, and that's it. You walk in through the door. Everybody's there. They're all shaking your hand. They're giving you the old hug and how you going. You know, Brian is like, he just comes up and gives you a big fucking bear hug. Sorry, am I allowed to swear? Sorry,
Yeah, you're completely fine. That's fine.
Sorry, mate. I was trying to keep it down, but it just slips in. It's just the way I'm built.
Just you, really, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and like Lawrence will give you a hug, and they all ask you not personal questions, but you know, they're all how's June, how's Ginge, how's this going, and all that. They're not big-headed. They're just normal lads, and they work hard. They really work hard. You walk in, and it's very, very professional. You know, I can see Brian moving on to bigger things. I mean, I'm no expert, but what you see with the lads is great. When Hugh Wizzy, when he was there, it was all good stuff. I don't think there's any bad blood between him and Brian. I think it's just one of them things that's had to, you know, they've gone the separate ways. They're all good. Rory's brilliant. I spent about 20 minutes talking to Rory about because he's like connection with Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Because he was on Doctor Who. And he's also done other little parts of he's like, Rory's been, what, you actually know about that? And I went, yeah, I'm a Doctor Who fan. So you look it up, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, it was shocked. And, it's great. You go in, they're offering you drinks, food. They just talk to you properly. There's nothing there. They're just lads, just normal lads.
I feel like you and Rory, actually, it's interesting you brought it up because I feel like you and Rory are very similar with the types of content you guys make. Kind of both started, you know, I want to say humble beginnings. You know, you guys just started you in front of the camera and stuff. And I don't even think Rory, since Chelsea Fan TV a couple of years back, I don't think he's actually been in front of a camera much. So when he came onto the kickoff, I feel like Elliot kind of helped him a lot as well with, you know, the whole camera stuff and advice and stuff. So I feel like you and Rory do have a lot in common, actually. So it's interesting you brought that up.
Yeah, it's Rory's just a sound lad. Rory is. He's absolutely, you can't fault him at all. He's just his enthusiasm for football, and his brain must be like a sponge because he's just all of a sudden he'll just pull something out. And I sit there, I'm thinking, what the bloody hell? Where you get that from? He's got no notes. He's got nothing in front of him, and Rory's just he's a sponge of knowledge of football.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I remember him, I think Rory, Lawrence, Adam Bolton, I don't know if you know him, and a few other lads. They were all kind of on the Football Republic channel a couple of years back. And I did like a game of two halves and stuff, and that's how I initially found all the lads. Have you been in contact with any, like, not company, but like, you know, YouTube channel to say, you know, come on to our show, be a part of this show and stuff like that, or no?
The only one that's really, I go on them because is Leicester Fan TV. I was on there the other night on Monday moaning about the four or five pillocks that went out to a party. No, nobody's done. To be honest, mate, I really only know about Leicester. You know, I do watch other clubs, but it's like Rory's got knowledge of like Man United, Chelsea, obviously, and then Liverpool and that. Same with Lawrence, same with with Brian. They all and McKenna. They all know other clubs. Where, to be honest, mate, I haven't got the time to get involved with other clubs. Yeah, I know about Man United players. Yeah, I know Leeds players and stuff, but I haven't got the knowledge they've got. So unless it's really Leicester City, I'm screwed.
What was it like meeting Jamie Vardy? Was it last season? What was that like?
It was quite amazing. This is all down to Elliot because we got an email and it went to me spam account and Elliot just looked in the spam account and it was there because I think it was the EA Sports. It just got put to the spam. So anyway, he phones me up and says, "Do you want to meet Jamie Vardy?" And I went, "What kind of stupid questions that?" He says, "Can you get down to the training ground on Thursday?" So this was Monday night, and yeah, I can do that. So I got down there, and I told my boss, "I'm having Thursday off. I'm not coming into work, and I don't care if you say no, I'm not coming in." And then he says, "Well, why? What's up?" I says, "You got to keep this secret, but Jamie Vardy's one player of the month, and I'm giving the track." He says, "Of course you can have the time off." So I went down. And waited in this room with all the other people from EA Sports, and all the players were walking around. I didn't talk to them because they were at work. You know what I mean? They don't want some fat bloke trying to, you know, get in there kind of thing. And anyway, then it came to it, and Jamie Vardy come out, and he's like just a normal lad. He's not like, hey, this is me, everybody appreciate me and all this. You know, he's just like, and they said, this is Dave, he's presenting the trophy. Hey, up, big man, you all right? How's it going? Glad you could come down and do all this. And, you know, and it's great. And like, he's just a normal bloke. There was nothing about him, nothing big-headed, nothing, I am the man, or he was just a normal lad. You know, some people think he's a bit of a knob. Perhaps he is a bit of a knob to opposition fans, but no, he was fine. He was just, you know, normal bloke.
Jamie's one of those players, man. When you're coming up against him, he literally destroyed Liverpool a couple of years back. The big ball over the top, looped, Mignolet goal. Oh man, I have bad memories of Vardy, but he does seem like a type of guy who's just, you know, down to earth. You go for a point to him, you know, because he was kind of like late into football, wasn't he? He was playing non-league football and stuff like that. So
yeah, it was a bit like an Ian Wright thing, weren't it? Where Ian Wright was discovered kicking a can against the ball or something on a local rec, and I think that's probably helped Jamie out to, you know, have a longer career. I'm glad he packed in playing for England, because it was just a waste of time in travelling, because they never played to his strengths. It was just a waste of time. The only reason why he got picked is because he was scoring, but that's because Leicester were playing a certain way. Yeah, I don't know how long he's got left in it. You can see that he doesn't run around as much as he used to. He conserves his energy, but he's just a Leicester legend. And, you know, we can't thank him enough for what he's done down Leicester.
How impressed have you been with Brendan Rodgers over the last kind of year and a half he's been in charge?
I'm very impressed, to be fair. I think Leicester's a difficult club to manage. We have got very rich owners, but we've got very rich owners because of duty free. Now, obviously, because of the situation of the world, they've not made any money just lately. We've just built a brand new £80 million training facility that's just over there. That's the wife's tablet going off with Sky News. Yeah, and you know, although we've got money, we're not a club that will just waste money. And Brendan's come in. It needed somebody like Brendan to come in and shake it up. It's a rebuilding job. You know, I mean, how long did it take Klopp to turn Liverpool around?
Probably about 3 seasons, to be fair. 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah. So you know, Brendan's been there like 2 years, coming up 2 years kind of thing. Yes, we screwed up last year. I don't think the 4 idiots messing around with the COVID parties helped last week. I think that took a big knock on the team. But, you know, yeah, I like Brendan Rodgers. I hope he stays for a very long time, because I was on the Leicester Fan TV, and somebody was having a go about Rodgers. And I says, well, what you need to do is you need to look at clubs like Charlton and Bolton, where they've gone in, they've got rid of Kerbishley, they got rid of Sam, and look where they are now. And that could so easily happen to Leicester. At the moment, Brendan is building. He's building for the future. Yeah, and that's all there is to it. And I honestly, if he went, I don't know who'd come in and take his place anyway. So
exactly, I think Brendan's one of those managers who's kind of like a progressive football manager, obviously. He'll come in, he'll kind of mold the team. He never got to do that with Liverpool, which is really, really unfortunate, because I feel like Brendan at the time, he came from Swansea into Liverpool, and he's kind of like, he was trying to work his way into the team, try and build his own team and style of football and stuff, and he kind of just didn't have the backing from the board or anything like that. I remember there was a couple of signings, he didn't even have like a say in that. So I feel like with Leicester, he's more of an option. He can go out and, you know, spend not whatever he wants, but what he wants to spend it on, you know. Yeah, perfect.
What was it, the 15-minute mark? Is it 15 minutes or off?
Yeah. Oh man, it's absolutely horrible. Yeah, what was I saying? So with Rodgers, it'll be interesting to see how he moves Vardy on, kind of rotates the team and
that Rick Barber. Yeah, that Rick Barber. Yeah, it will be, because when all said and done, I'm surprised. I mean, Iheanacho's come on leaps and bounds. Obviously, that lad had a talent, or he wouldn't have been at Man City. And Brendan's really brought him through, you know, because like, I think it was we played Everton at home, and we were losing 2-1, and Iheanacho scored in basically the last kick of the game, and it all went to VAR, and like I got Ginge next to me because she's just discovered football, and we were there, we were waiting. Anyway, it was a goal, and it's just amazing because even when he came on as sub, I'm going, oh, what's he brought him on for, Iheanacho? But now he's turned him around. I mean, I think what's he got, 7 in 5, or he's knocking them in for fun now, and hopefully he can help replace Vardy. I think Vardy's probably got this season and probably next season if he plays sparingly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can't keep relying on Jamie Vardy, and they have got to sort it out. We can't keep relying on Evans at the back as well because he's getting on. And but that's what Brendan's brought him for. He'll get it sorted. So I've got every faith in Brendan Rodgers. To be fair.
I'm very curious. Where were you when Leicester won the title that night?
When we won the title that night, I was at work. I couldn't get time off. When we lifted the trophy, I was up a country lane. I'd just blown the Saab up.
That's brilliant. I'm going to bring...
So, it's like the wife said, she goes, oh, there's something wrong with that car. So anyway, I got in and just before the kickoff, and she says, there's something wrong with that car, take it for a drive. So anyway, I took it for a drive and it blew up. So, I didn't get to see him lift the trophy live. Well, there you go.
That look, I mean, I got to watch it in Sky, and you had your man singing the opera. It's amazing. I was going to actually ask you about work because obviously you're gone full time to content now and YouTube and stuff. What was that kind of decision like? Obviously, I've seen the video, but for people who are watching kind of at home who don't realize and stuff, what was that kind of decision like with you and June, and how did that kind of like all happen around the time?
Well, the mortgage is paid off, right? The mortgage is paid off. The van's paid for. The Mini Cooper's paid for. We've got savings, and at the time, last year, I was going to go and work for another company, but they delivered meat to schools. And obviously, with the schools shutting down, that all fell through. So I stayed at work for a bit longer. And anyway, this time round, just before Christmas, I says to her, I'm making enough money now. I don't need to go to work. And if I do, I'll just go and get a little part-time job or something to top the wages up. I've got the sponsorship from Beer. I'm all right. And even if I ain't got the sponsorship from Beer, I'm still doing okay. We don't go on massive holidays. All we do is we just go for like self-catering around Norfolk way or Lincolnshire. We're not particularly too bothered. We haven't got an extravagant lifestyle. So I just got fed up with working 12-hour days every other weekend from 6 till 3, and Saturday, Sunday. I'm out loading lorries in the rain or the snow, or it's that hot you can't, you're burning. I'm ginger, so I burn. So in the end, June still does her part-time job, and we're okay. And, we spend more time together, and I'm very, very fortunate. And a lot of it, I mean, I know I keep saying it's down to Brian. Brian found me. Brian put me out there in the public eye. And I owe Brian so much for just giving me the chance and the opportunity to do this. So, it wasn't really a tough decision at the end. It just had to be done.
Big up, Brian, at the end of the day. What did the people at work kind of think at that time when you left and obviously went to do content full time?
Do you know what? The lads at work, Yellow Shift, who I was with, and then I went into the warehouse. They took the piss. They've had a laugh and a joke about it. But they're all supportive. I mean, I've had a couple of lads come over. Big Dog, he did the Lederhosens when I got him dressed up when we did the German beer festival. I've got another mate from work that I'm going to drag over, and we're going to review some beers. Hopefully that'll be next weekend out in the garden. But no, they've all been supportive. They've not taken the mickey, but they've not been nasty kind of thing. And they've all wished me luck. So, they're all saying, oh, if I had that opportunity, I'd take it as well. So, yeah, they've all been good.
Something I really like about your content and the way you kind of conduct yourself is you support a lot of local businesses, and you support, especially during the pandemic, because everyone's kind of fucked over with it. But I was watching a couple of videos where you reviewed, was it roast dinners on a Sunday at different pubs and stuff in Loughborough? What was that kind of, not what was it like, but what was their reaction to that? If that makes sense, did they get like more business and stuff like that?
Yeah, they've had more business. I went. I know the people in the pub that I did it, right? In fact, the bloke fitted the hob. He's the bloke who owns the pub. His wife runs it, and the bloke's the gas man. Yeah, I went and ordered it. I didn't tell him I was reviewing it. I never tell anybody I'm reviewing anything because I don't want them to change anything. If it's shit, I'll say it's shit. Anyway, so I reviewed it. It was nice. It was a nice Sunday dinner. Just whacked in the microwave or whacked in the oven to warm it up. It's perfect. So anyway, I went back and seen her a couple of days later after the video had been out, and she says, "We've had an extra something like 80 meals ordered with people saying BBM." So, and it's like I did the burger bar. I did the burger bar at B&Q right when I first started. But anyway, it's changed hands now. And I went the other month and I did the breakfast cob, and then I did some kind of spicy burger that we did. So I had it, reviewed it, and then I went back and seen her a couple of days later, and she says, she's taken about an extra 300 quid.
Jesus.
She got people that are coming and they're saying, "Oh, is BBM here today? Is he coming?" And then there was another woman who went and said, I don't normally eat these kind of things. She says, but I watched a blue van man. She says, I watched a blue van man review your breakfast. She says, so we've come to her. And she spent something like 40 quid on beef burgers and cobs and stuff. So apparently it's doing them really well. So it's just nice to help local businesses, and I don't want anything for it. I make a little bit on the revenue as long as it pays for the cob and the fuel to get where I get, and I make a little bit more. I'm quite happy. It's amazing. So
when you go into restaurants now, do they kind of like have this expectation you're going to end up reviewing the food on YouTube and stuff like that?
I don't. To be fair, there's a lot of people who don't recognise me, so it's not too bad. I walk into Greggs and Subway now, and they're like, and it gets through to the managers, and the managers watch, and they take it on board, the area managers. But in fact, there's a place in Loughborough that's just opened, a new burger place, and I went to go to review it. I went to get the menu because I'm going to review it soon, and there was a delivery driver just pull up, and he went, "Are you him off YouTube?" And I went, "Yeah." He says, "You got to review us?" I went, "Yeah." And I wanted to be all secretive. I said, "I've just popped in for a menu." And he's like, he's a big black lad, and he's like, giving me the old fist bump and like all that. And it's like, oh, right.
Oh,
I'm 52.
Have you ever had any like bad experience with like different restaurants or franchises who've kind of like messaged you privately and stuff like that, saying we don't appreciate that kind of thing?
There was one, the Chocolate Smiths or something like that. They're on Instagram, and I bought some of the chocolates, did the review, and it was all right. The chocolate was all right, but I criticised the price. Excuse me. I criticised the price because I thought it was rather expensive for what it was, And anyway, she came on the bloody video, Instagram, crying her eyes out, saying how hard it is to do all this and hard to be that. And I'm thinking, well, hold on, girl. If you watch their videos, they're quite bubbly and laughing and doing all this. And I'm thinking, well, hold on, you've got to be able to take the criticism, because me criticising you, I'm no expert, but I'm not that bloke off MasterChef or whatever, but I'm the normal everyday Joe that you're serving this to. So just take a little bit of criticism on the chin, and you might learn from it. Like I said, I'm no expert, but if I'm thinking that, there's going to be other people thinking that. So,
people take it very personally as well when you kind of like almost tell them how to do their job. That's the way they kind of see it. You're kind of telling them how to do what they're supposed to be doing and stuff, where it's just like, you can improve in this area, you can improve doing this and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
Well, I mean, the thing is, there's a place in Loughborough called Plan Burrito, and I went and reviewed they do burritos, and they are absolutely fucking brilliant. And I went back the same day because I went to buy June one as well, so we could actually try one in the afternoon. And anyway, the woman says, "Oh, it's you, isn't it?" And I'm thinking, "Oh shit, what's happened? What have I done?" She's going, "I haven't stopped since you put that review out." Says, "I've had people coming from an hour away to try this." And anyway, I went back again later on, a couple of days later, and the boss is like saying, "Thank you so much. You gave us so, you gave us such an insight," because I think I said something about improving something or whatever. I can't remember. And they've just loved it. They've just took it on board, and the amount of money they've made out of me doing that for nothing, it's unreal. But I don't. This is what I said. I don't want anything for it. I just like to know I'm helping a company out.
It's a great feeling helping those smaller businesses and stuff like that, and helping people when the going's kind of tough as well at the moment. So I get a lot of respect for you just from watching stuff like that, because I know that you're not doing it for any exposure for yourself or whatever like that. It's all very selfless. But at the back of your mind it will help them out, and I absolutely love that about you. I want to ask about Unky Steve, because you were doing a podcast last year, and I was very excited for this. Like, oh, some new content, some BVM content, and did that actually happen at all?
Right. Well, it happened, but I downloaded it in real crap vision. I don't know what I've done wrong. I deleted it off the camera, and Elliot says, "I can't use that, mate. It's rubbish. It looked like Minecraft." So anyway, I went to go back to Steve's, and I said, "We've got to do it again." Of course, then COVID kicked in. Because Steve's blind, he's got brittle bones, he's in his 70s. I can't risk going around and obviously we can't anyway, because Boris has puffed his hair up and said you can't do anything. So as soon as this thing now, because I could go around, but he can't get into the garden because he can't walk that well. So as soon as we're allowed in his house, it's going to go back on. It will happen. It's just one of them things where, I recorded 2 podcasts and I screwed them up. And that's down to my lack of understanding technology. So
I've been doing them
but it will happen.
I'm looking forward to that, because I remember at the time I was like, okay, these guys are gonna do a podcast, it'd be amazing. I feel like you hosting a podcast would just be amazing, because as I said before, you're very relatable, down to earth guy. It's just perfect combination for a podcast, really.
Yeah, I mean, I've got something else lined up as well. I've done a couple of reviews with a couple of my mates. Chris and Adi, I put it out on Monday morning. We were reviewing Jaffa cakes, I think. I can't remember.
Mini Jaffa cakes, I think, yeah? Or something like that.
Yeah, well, anyway, I'm hoping to do something with them pair of idiots. I've done it. It's recorded. I've got to find somebody to just sort out a few bits, and it'll be out. I've got things lined up. Chris, the lad in the middle, is just so funny, and we just bounce off each other. It's like, I did actually say, like, I've known Chris for over 30 years. It's not like I've just pulled Chris out of a bag because he's black. He is my mate, and he came to my wedding. It's good. And like, Chris will go on about Black Lives Matter, and it's just his delivery that is good.
You guys did the beer garden, which I think has been a great success for your channel. Because obviously, during COVID you have the social distancing and stuff like that, and you have the backyard, it's kind of like sectioned off, so one side, how did you guys kind of like come up with that idea and to start it actually?
Well, I was obviously during the lockdown, I was struggling for content. I mean, McDonald's weren't open, and I was just struggling. And anyway, me and Cameron, we'll stand out the back there chatting anyway. We'll just talk. And we'll just talk about anything that's happening, the way people park around our close and any noise, or, you know, just like a couple of blokes down the pub talk. And anyway, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, if we had a couple of beers and we did that out there and just chatted, that could be a video. So anyway, I said to him, Cameron, do you want to do it? I'll buy the beers and we just stand there. I buy the beers, I buy the crisps, buy the nuts, and we'll just stand there and chat. And I just go through the news of the week. I make little notes, put it on a fucking piece of paper, and we just chat. And it's just simple TV. And I don't understand why Channel 4 haven't signed me up and put it on there.
Yeah, the beer garden is amazing. I'll probably leave a link in the description because it's just that good, and it is kind of like a podcast, and it's kind of just long form content, just the two of you just chatting and stuff. So it is amazing. I love it. I want to actually ask. I didn't get to ask at the start. How did you originally start doing content on YouTube and stuff?
It was just June just watches YouTube, and I just thought I can do that. I'll have a go at that, and that's when I thought, right, well, I didn't know what to review. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just wanted to voice my opinion. I've always voiced my opinion right from an early age. I've always told people what I think, and sometimes I suppose it gets a bit annoying. So if you think that I can put it on a video and you either watch or you don't watch, that's entirely up to you. So I got the Harry's razors, and that was about it really. The born of BBM, and I just found food by accident as such. It was a McDonald's review. I got loads and loads of views. People were telling me I was funny, and it just went from there. It was never meant to be like this, to be fair. It was never meant to be this big, but it is. So what can I do?
It's I always get you my recommendations, obviously because I watch you a lot anyway. But I do get you a lot in the recommendations, especially if you do like, you know, fast food franchises like McDonald's, Subway, stuff like that. Do you almost kind of like, you know, I do like the mixture of content, but do you feel like you could benefit a lot more just by doing, you know, the big franchise and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, in one way, I've been forced into doing the McDonald's and the KFCs. And although I like doing them, it's like people just seem to think I eat crap all the time. I don't. We've got a big stew on now, right? Carrots, onions, swede, peas, and it's there. I do eat healthy stuff. Well, obviously, people don't want to see me eat a stew. They want to see me eat a McDonald's, rip it to bits, and then, you know, take the piss out of it. Yeah, I have been like pigeonholed into fast food. It don't bother me, to be fair, as long as it's making people happy, as long as I'm earning a bit of a living out of it. I don't want millions, but I'm quite happy.
What are the worst and the best foods you've had on the channel to review, I suppose, at the moment?
I love anything from Nando's. I love Plan Burrito. The worst thing I ever had was Audi chicken wings. Zapped chicken wings.
They are fucking horrible.
I think the review was about 3 minutes. I couldn't even drag it out and say anything good about it. They were absolutely disgusting. And how a company can sell that, I do not know. No, I mean, I'm really surprised how much vegan food that I'm enjoying at the moment. You know, the plant-based, they're really, really pulling out all the stops to promote vegan food, which is good, really, I suppose, isn't it? So
yeah, the vegan stuff on YouTube really does great, and especially the stuff that like the artificial chicken and stuff like that. Like, people love watching that stuff because they're like, oh, will I try it? Will I not?
Yeah.
I remember something Brian said a while back, probably a year back, probably. He said, like, you know, if it's actually good, I might try it myself. And I think that's just, it perfectly encapsulates your reviews and stuff, because, you know, it's just neutral opinion, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, I like I said, I try. I mean, people say to me, "Oh, why don't you give it a score out of 10?" No, I'm not doing that, because that's what other people do, and I'm not. I'm Dave. I'm not whoever. I'm quite. I like to say, if it was that good, what I did a review the other day, and I went, "It's really, really good. You've got to buy it." And then there's other things where I'll say, yeah, it's all right. I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm not telling you not to buy it. Some people will like it. Some people will hate it. I just like to go out there and give the opinions. Really, to be fair, I just like being in front of the camera and being a prat.
What were those? I was watching this video today and I could not stop laughing at the concept. The hula hoops that you put into the oven, and they come out the exact same as if you buy them from a shop, just little bags. What's the whole idea? They're the exact same.
Yeah, it's well, Chris ran about it when I did when I went to see Chris the other day, and his son Jackson, who is named after Michael Jackson. Yeah, he was saying, well, what they like? They like hula hoops. I tell you what I should have done, and it's just come to me. What I should have done is actually bought like hula hoops out of a packet and just banged them in the bloody air fryer. That's what I should have done. Yeah, you see, I think
that'd have been a great idea.
This is how I am. I'm always thinking.
I literally showed my dad that video, and he was like, "What the fuck am I watching?" He was like, "Literally just hula hoops, like they're just hula hoops. You're after cooking, like, oh no, I can't be arsed with it, man." But what you said, actually, they're like a novelty for the kids. That's completely just probably why you did it.
Yeah, but they must be selling hundreds of them because there's people reviewing them all over YouTube. These hula hoops, and people are buying them, and like, you know, KP must be going, another one.
I kind of like it's kind of like the pot noodles that they do in the packets now. They're the out of the pot noodle, whatever it's called. It's just what's the point?
Yeah,
just get a pot noodle.
I reviewed that, didn't I? And it's like, well, I can't see the point of a pot noodle not being in a pot. If you're working, right, in a warehouse or something, if you want a pot noodle, you've got to take some. I mean, all right, they're saying they're still selling pot noodles, but they still sell the pot noodle in a pot. So what's the point then? What is the point? There ain't no point. It's just a waste of time. You can go to Own Bargains and buy the 6-pack for £1, which are a damn sight better than what pot noodle do.
It drives me crazy, the things that these like companies and franchises do for money. It's amazing. Yeah. My last kind of like topic that I want to bring up in the podcast was obviously June, because I've had a couple of people on the podcast before. I had Craig from the Anfield Agenda on like 2 weeks ago, and he was like saying, you know, his wife is a massive part of like why he can do what he does, and you know, how big of an influence has June been on the whole YouTube process?
Right, when I first started this, she wanted nothing of it. She didn't want anything to do with it. She hated the idea. She's a very private person. You know, even just to get her a picture of her smiling is hard work. She hates being in front of the camera. She hated it. So she didn't want nothing to do with it. Ginge was the same. She was lying on the floor. You know, when you see kids lying on the floor, kicking and doing that on the floor and screaming. Yeah. That's how she was. She was 15. I said, Ginge, what are you doing? You can't do that. Y'all get bullied. This'll happen at school. I'm going, no, she weren't. She was about 13. I can't remember. So they didn't want anything to do with it. And then as the channel started to grow, she started to be giving her voice in the background.
Yeah.
You know, I'd say, well, just try this, and then she'd talk about it. And then we follow a couple of YouTubers in America called Dutch Creek Cabin and Bobblehead Homestead, and they live in a tiny house, not together. They've got their own houses. And Bobblehead, he's got MS or Parkinson's. One of them makes his head shake. Yeah. That's not taking the piss.
No, it's fine.
You know what I mean? No, but there is some people out. Oh, you're taking the piss. I'm not. I'm just saying that's how he is. He's got. I think he's Parkinson's. I can't remember. And anyway, he's showing you how he's getting on. Well, anyway, I was doing a live once, and Dutch came on up in the notes. Hey up, big man, and all that kind of thing. So anyway, she comes tottering on. She won't come on the screen for me. She'll come on to say hello to Dutch, but not me. So once she'd done it, once she broke its back, you know, she got the confidence. She comes on quite a bit now. So, and as for helping, I'd be lost without her. Sometimes she's a fucking nightmare. And she does me head in, and I'm sure I'm the same to her. But she's brilliant, and she supports me with this. She doesn't like me doing YouTube. She doesn't like the effect that YouTube has. It does actually invade your life. You know what I mean? You know, people want to be a YouTuber and they think, oh, it's easy doing this. It ain't easy. Doing this isn't easy. And I'm not comparing it to a nurse or a doctor or a fireman or a policeman or army or anything like that. But people seem to think doing YouTube's easy, and it fucking ain't. The amount of time you have to put into it, you know, it's hard work. So
you definitely
she's a diamond.
You definitely need the right people around you as well to support you with just everything, because it is a big confidence thing as well. You need to have a good confidence, you know, to come onto the camera every day and just, you know, just talk a lot of bullshit really, but you do need those people around you to kind of support you as well.
Oh, of course you do. I mean, you know, somebody at work, this bloke at work, is a knob, and I don't really like him anyway. And they went, all you do is sit there talking. I went, go on then, go and have a go. Go and see if you can do it. Well, why do I want to do that? I says, so I'm leaving work to do this. What are you doing in the next couple of weeks? Oh, you'll be sitting here again, won't you, doing this on nights? So, you know what I mean? People seem to think it's easy, and it ain't. So,
originally, when you were doing, obviously, you're working and you were doing YouTube on the side, what was that like trying to balance the two of them together?
Fucking nightmare. That's it, and that's what it is. It's like if McDonald's released a video, if McDonald's released a new burger, and I was at work and I didn't used to finish till 6. Or what I'd do is I'd say, I've got a review to do, I'm going. I'm leaving at 5 today to get in because of the light, because obviously the lights used to draw in or whatever. And then I'd have to race home. Because my Wi-Fi shit, it'd take ages to upload. And it's a nightmare. So you do a day's work, I'm leaving out the house at 5 o'clock, I'm doing a day's graft, I'm going straight to McDonald's, I'm recording it, coming home, downloading it. By the time I've got it all ready, it's 8 o'clock. Then I've got to go to bed to get up the next day. And it's, you know what I mean? It's what you got, an hour with the family or something. It's
it's so hard to like balance just even content creation. Like I've like 5,000 subs on YouTube. I don't like, it's not a full-time job for me at the moment. I just do it for the crack. But even just doing it for the crack, it's like, you know, you have to get up early to do a podcast. You have to get up early to, you know, to live stream and stuff like that.
Yeah, you do.
It does take a lot out of you, and I find myself getting less and less sleep every single day because of it. I was actually wondering as well, what's it like transitioning your content kind of into live streaming more as well?
What, just doing a live?
Yeah, just doing lives alongside your normal videos.
Just don't bother, man. Just do it. I think this is the problem with people. I think they think too much. I know I've just said I think this is the problem, but people do think too much. I'm a doer. I don't think it's like, if I wasn't sitting here now, I mean, we've got the 2 dogs, right? Well, they don't argue and fight, but they play a lot together.
Yeah.
Now, so we can't particularly leave them on our own. But if I weren't here now with you, I'd be thinking, oh, there's a calf up there. I'm gone. I'm in the van and I've gone. So, yeah, when I do a live, I did try doing something at the beginning of COVID, where I'd do like 60 minutes live with BBM. And I would just try to chat about a TV program, a little bit about the news, nothing like, you know, just light-hearted stuff, just to try and take people away from the shit that were happening in the world. Anyway, after about 3 or 4, I knew it weren't going anywhere, so I sacked it. But now all I do is I'll just sit there and I'll say to June, fancy doing a live? And that's it. I'll just go on here. And me and June have got such a rapport, we just bounce off each other. We can carry it through. And I think there's a lot of YouTubers who try to do what me and June do. You know, we're like the Morecambe and Wise. We're like, you know, we just bounce off each other. We've got our own little routine. Well, it's not a routine, it's just what we do.
Yeah, I was actually you brought up there a second ago COVID. You actually had COVID at the start, didn't you? Like back, was it February 2020, around that time?
In fact, I put a video out when I did a video and I went, "Have you missed me?" It was last Monday I put that out, so it's a year today since I was about getting back to normal. Yeah, what was the question? I had COVID.
Yeah, what was it like just going through that and stuff as well?
Well, I'd done a quiz. Elliot was doing his quiz on a Friday night, and I'd done it with him. And anyway, I got up and I went to the loo room. I said, it's fucking hot in here, isn't it? Or did I say it was cold? Anyway, I think I said, have you got the windows open? And I was hot. And she went, no, it's all right. Why? Anyway, she felt my head and like I was burning up. And she's going, you've got it. Oh, I ain't got it. I ain't got it. She says, how's your throat? And I got a bit of a sore throat. You've got it. Anyway, I went to bed and I woke up in the morning and I felt like I'd had a kicking outside of a nightclub. I felt really, really bad. Anyway, as it went on, I was really struggling to breathe. At one point, I've been talking to my mum. My mum was sitting on the corner of the bed. She's been dead something like 18 years. I was hallucinating. I was gone. June was sitting by the side of my bed. My eyes were rolling in the back of my head. My lips had gone blue. I was really, really struggling to breathe. It was taking me all my time to go up the stairs. It would even take me, ages to come from the bed and go toilet. Apparently, I've got the shits. I didn't know. I'd got it. She said, because I said to her the other day, I said, oh, what's all this about people buying toilet paper? I said, I never had shit. She said, Dave, she says, you were always shitty. She says, you were bad. And apparently at one time she wanted me to go in hospital. And I said, I'm not going in. I'm not going into hospital. If I go into hospital, I'll die. She's going like, Dave, you've got to go. You've got to get some help. And I went, I'm not going in. But in the end, it didn't really matter because the NHS didn't help me anyway. They didn't want to know me.
You said in the
They
videos,
come around or anything.
You said in the video as well that you thought you were actually going to like die at that stage. Did you know how serious it was going to be?
I didn't know, to be fair. I thought I'd spent a lot of time watching the Sweeney and Professionals on ITV3. But she said I didn't. There was 3 days where I didn't eat or drink. And I think it was 2 in the morning. I thought it was 2 in the afternoon. I wanted a jacket potato. And June come down and cooked me a jacket potato and she fed me in bed a jacket potato. And I can't remember any of it. And don't get me wrong, it's a scary thing. I don't know, really. It's just one of them things. And I beat it. And I'll tell you something else. You know, Donald Trump, I'm not advocating Donald Trump or anything like that. You know, Donald Trump had it and he says, I felt fitter after it.
Yeah.
After about 6 weeks, I felt fitter than I did before I had it. I felt, and I still feel better now, you know what I mean? I feel stronger for having it than not having it. That sounds stupid. I know it sounds stupid.
I completely get it, mate. I get that.
But I do feel a lot stronger and a lot fitter than I did before I had it.
I think Brian had it beforehand, didn't he? But he didn't know at the time that he had COVID, like back in January. Did he message you at all saying, you know, you'll be all right and all that stuff?
Brian, Jack Mate, Robbie Knox, Mark Goldbridge, Lawrence, Elliot, they all text me. They text me more than my own family to see how I was. I can remember the Brian thing though, because I don't text Brian. I don't want to invade his privacy. You know what I mean? The last thing you want is some, trying to leech onto you. I only ever text them if I need to, but I wondered, like, Brian hadn't done anything for a good month or so. I'm thinking, what the fuck's going off here? And then all of a sudden he came back, and that's what it must have been. He must have had COVID or something. So
a lot of people as well at the time were saying, "Oh, you're just doing it for attention. You're saying it for attention." Muppets, a lot of them.
Yeah. But what I did, I mean, when I came back and I sat here and I did the video, it took me all my time to. The reason why I did that video that day is because I needed to get back up. I needed to start fighting back. I needed to start getting back to some normality. And I sat there in the living room and I said to June, I said, right, I'm doing a video. She's going, do you think you should? I said, I've got to do something because I've got to start fighting back. I've got to start getting back to my old self. And anyway, I nearly cried like a... But no, it's a serious thing, this COVID. I don't know how well the government's actually handled it. I think they've handled it pretty poorly, to be fair, because I think everything they've told us has been a complete lie.
Yeah.
From right back in March when it was 3 weeks to curb the infection rate, to we'll be all right at Christmas, and then not letting us have a Christmas and eat out to help out, and yeah, we'll just shut down to Christmas, and then after Christmas we'll open up, and we're still in lockdown, and then 15 million jabs, and you can start having your freedom back. And now it's 32 million that have been jabbed, and we're still not out. I think they've just lied, and lied all the way through. So.
It's the exact same in Ireland. A lot of people have just like I'm just absolutely fed up at this stage. Like we've been in lockdown for what 5 months, 4 or 5 months now at this stage. We're only just allowed to leave like our county, our areas, so it's just a load of fucking bullshit, really. Especially the way they handled it at the start as well, where they were like, we'll let people into the country, come on, and then 2 weeks later, there's like massive surge in cases. Absolutely, is to love them.
I mean, I'm a big fan of herd immunity. I think once you've had it, if you get it again, it's like flu. I've had flu in my life, and that really knocked me back. And then apparently you only get flu twice in your life. And now Pfizer are saying that you're going to need a third jab and then an annual jab. Let's have a bit of faith in the human body.
Yeah.
And then it's coming out that there's 25,000 cases weren't of COVID. And then you've got Matt Hancock. He's got shares in a company, and then you've got that we've just done a £2.8 billion deal with a Chinaman in Wuhan for getting these lateral flow test kits, and you got Dominic Cummings driving up to Barnum Castle where GlaxoSmithKline are based, and they've just got a deal for 80 million jabs. And then you've got Chris Whitty, is it Chris Whitty? One of them, the bloody Chuckle Brothers. He's got 600 Valence. He's got £600 worth of shares there. It doesn't fill me with confidence, this government. But I don't say it's just the Tories. I say it's Labour as well. I just don't trust anybody. I don't trust any politician. I don't trust any scientist.
I'm the exact same, but I don't trust anything. I had a guy come on the podcast like last month or month and a half, and he's just like, it's just a load of shit, really. Like it's just all lies. Just so it's, I don't know. I don't really like thinking about it. Really, it's just a load of shit.
Yeah.
Last thing I wanted to talk about was the 100k subscriber plaque, because you got that fairly recently, wasn't it? Like a month ago, month or 2 months.
Yeah, I typical me. I'd screwed up on me filling out the form for YouTube when I set up. So I got 200,000, and I never really thought of anything of it. I just didn't think they were going to ever happen. Anyway, Elliot got in touch with me one day and says, we've been onto YouTube. I think I've sorted your plaque out. I went, what? Really? And he went, yeah, I've sorted it. And I'm going like, you're joking? You've sorted it? I thought I'd screwed up. He says, yeah. He says, but I've sorted it. So Elliot's got me plaque as well for me.
What a guy. Get the little plaque. I have my own plaque here in the back. Lovely little thing. I don't know if you can see it on that camera, but it's...
I can see it. Yeah, I got it.
That's just for my own self-esteem, that. That's pretty much all I want to talk about, Dave. I really appreciate you coming on, bro.
That's fine, mate. No worries. I hope it helps you get a few more subscribers to your channel and gives you the confidence to grow and move on. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, but it's just it's like people will leave a message on my Twitter saying, "Oh, I seen you in Tesco's, but I daren't say anything." Well, no, just come and say hello. I won't bite, I won't bark at you or anything like that. And you need a bit of confidence. And obviously, you've got in touch today, and I said, yeah, so that's it. But you're going to be lucky though, because you're going to be one of the few that's
the very last podcast of Blue Van Man right here. Let's go.
Yeah, something like that. Like I said, there's a lad who did one. He put a link on Twitter last night, and it's the Blue Van Man, the deconstruction or something of Blue Van Man.
Yeah.
And he just talks about me. And the best thing is, he doesn't actually remember Brian's name. Because everybody associates me with Brian, and I think that's the problem, where people aren't just talking about me as such, but this bloke just talks about me. It's quite good.
It's really weird when people start doing videos about you as well, I feel like.
Oh, there's loads. I'm all over TikTok, I've got a TikTok account because I wanted it for me, but I'm all over TikTok. People just like copying my voice. Like they'll do a soundbite of me saying, "Lovely, that's bloody lovely,"
You're like Mark Goldberg's, man. You're all over TikTok. Just anyone would like who just says funny like bursts of just a funny line or whatever. It just goes on TikTok instantly. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's it. So,
Um,
so we'll pick that tomorrow night, mate.
yeah, tomorrow 6 p.m. So I have it up and ready to go. Yeah, that's gonna end the podcast. Obviously, I'll leave Dave's link in the description for his YouTube and all that stuff. And yeah, cheers for watching.